Hi,
Hello. Hi.
hi. I'm Rachit.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Myself Mudit Pathak.
Okay, okay. How are
Fine,
you?
fine. Great, great, great.
Okay, okay.
Fine.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
let me just tell the viewers what they're in for. Basically, me, Girl Up TIT, and Bharat Girl Up together, we've organized this live session, and we're going to be talking about the effects of cyberbullying on teenagers. मतलब I would want कि हम लोग इसमें cyber bullying के बाहर भी topics की बात करें ऐसा in life bullying है ना. We can talk about our personal experiences with bullying, and we can talk about how
Definitely.
our friends have perceived bullying. Like मेरे लिए जो bullying है, it might not be bullying for you, and जो आपके लिए bullying है, it might
Yeah,
मतलब we have to talk about that line कि वो कहाँ पर आती है
definitely.
ना. तो चलो let's start. मतलब I really want to know your views on this topic and how you perceive
Okay, definitely.
cyber or bullying in general.
So yeah, so cyberbullying, I would say that like this like definition each and everyone knows, so no need to like categorize into a definition because definition से बहुत बड़ी एक जो line होती है, like definition से बहुत बड़ी चीज है ये cyberbullying. So basically, I encountered like cyberbullying. Like, if I could say, then in the Bharat Girl Up, I won't name that person, but we have a celebrity within Bharat Girl Up who is associated
Okay.
with us. So we got a DM from her that she was being harassed by some random people through the DMs, like they were sending them like nude pics or some sort of that thing. So she asked assistance from us. So like
Okay.
what the agenda here comes is for awareness, that are we aware about our rights? Like if we are suffering from cyber bullying, so are we aware of their rights? Or do we know that whom to go for that, whom to go for seeking the justice? So what we initially did was we initially transferred her contact details to Shubham sir, Shubham Cyber Corp, the
Okay.
man who was behind boys
The
locker
boys
room
locker room,
and the
yeah.
man who was behind the man who was behind the Manav suicide case. So he is like the youngest cop of India who deals with all these things through the government of India and through Mumbai police. So we transferred him the details, and he took over that thing. And now like this thing was sorted out. Then we filed an FIR and all of those things. So like I personally feel that what lacking is there basically in this sort of cyberbullying or this cyber space is the lack of awareness. So there are various reasons about that. There is lack of
हाँ,
awareness. नहीं लोगों को पता ही नहीं है,
सही
लोगों को
बात
पता
है.
ही नहीं है कि अगर हमारे साथ पहले तो ये नहीं पता है कि साइबर बुलिंग होती क्या है. लाइक हमारे साथ साइबर बुलिंग एग्जैक्टली हो भी रही है नहीं हो रही है उनको वही नहीं पता चलता है थ्रू दी कमेंट सेक्शन और सोशल मीडिया और इफ आई टेल अबाउट थ्रू द डीएम. अगर पता चल भी जाता है इवेंचुअली, सो दे डोंट नो हाउ टू गो फर्दर. लाइक वो लोग लीव कर देते हैं, लेट गो, मतलब वो लोग अपनी वॉइस ही रेज नहीं करते हैं. So the main question comes in, why not to raise our voice regarding something wrong, right? कहना क्यों है या फिर दबाना क्यों है बात को? Whether you are a boy, whether you are a girl, or whether you are from the LGBTQ community, you have the right to speak, right? It's in the
Exactly.
fundamental right. So why not to speak? So that was
Exactly.
my like the initial thing which I came from the like cyberbullying. Like personally, I haven't experienced any cyberbullying thing. Like I have experienced bullying regarding my physical, like because I am too thin. So because of that, I have received some sort of bullying thing. But I could say that the exact the thing which I could say it as cyberbullying. So वो चीज मेरे साथ कभी नहीं हुई है. But yeah, it happened with my friends, and I find lot of content creators through the social media platform, those who have stopped can close their comment section basically because of the same reason,
Yeah, yeah.
cyberbullying, harassment, body shaming. So because of those reasons, they have just closed their comment section, closed their DMs
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, definitely. In fact, हमारे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ था. तो through Girl Up TIT, we're very active on Twitter. Okay, so
yeah,
we try to raise awareness there as well. And the problem, the difference between Instagram and Twitter is that the crowd that you target through Twitter is a lot different from the crowd that you target on Instagram. Like Instagram पे, if we're
definitely.
7 and 8 people together running Girl Up TIT right now, तो वो that is just a subset of our own personal account followers, है ना. But Twitter पे the reach that we get is so extensive. So recently we got a DM from a girl. She was a minor, okay. So she was being harassed, मतलब not really exactly harassed, but she was being bullied online by a group of guys because she tweeted something and the guys didn't find it appropriate for her age or her gender. So she DM'd us and we helped her lodge a cyber complaint anonymously. तो इसमें वन ऑफ द थिंग्स आई नोटिस वाज कि जैसे वो माइनर थी ना, तो शी वाज लाइक कि मैं अपनी मॉम को नहीं बता सकती कि मैं ट्विटर पे हूँ. तो साइबर बुलिंग में
Definitely.
दिक्कत ये भी है कि भाई अगर वो माइनर है तो she she's afraid of her mother, so she would rather live with the consequences of cyberbullying per se rather than tell her mom. तो we should really be talking about this in today's world as well कि अगर reality तो यही है कि minors के account होते हैं, but अगर minors के account होते भी है तो they shouldn't be afraid to tell their parents about that, है ना. तो मतलब I was very happy कि we helped her launch an anonymous complaint through the Cyber Crime India website. So we also had a webinar on this like yesterday. So we had advocate Puneet Jaseen with us. If you, तो उसमें she talked about all of these consequences and the first thing she said to us was मैंने ये question पूछा था कि अगर minor है तो क्या कर सकते हैं, है ना. And then she was like कि देखो रचित, the first thing that you have to do is tell your parents, क्योंकि parents को बताने से अच्छा और कुछ नहीं है ना. तो and then she told me the procedure. It was very easy. मतलब वो website पे वो करने से ही सब कुछ solve हो जाता है ना. तो and another thing she talked about while talking about cybercrime was, and we usually forget about this stuff, जो लड़कों को और सबको जो बैंक वालों के फोन आते हैं ना, फेक बैंक वालों के फोन, that is also cybercrime. And we usually forget about that stuff. And इस चीज की awareness ज्यादा नहीं करते लोग, क्योंकि मतलब obviously sexual harassment and it takes a higher note, but if we talk about cyberbullying in terms of me and you as males of society, तो हमें ये calls आने के ज़्यादा chance है कि सर आपका बैंक अकाउंट बंद हो जाएगा, अपना अकाउंट डिटेल्स दे दो, आधार नंबर दे दो, ये दे दो. तो we should really be targeting this stuff as well when we talk about cybercrime and cyberbullying. As teenagers, so I don't think कि हमें अभी आते होंगे, but along the lines I've seen my dad answer some of these calls and it's usually fun.
Yeah, actually I received the same message. I will be telling it in the further thing. Yeah, so that was a very funny incident actually.
Exactly. हाँ, वो ऐसे बोलते हैं कि सर आपका अकाउंट क्लोज होने वाला है, आप जल्दी से आधार कार्ड नंबर और दे दीजिए. एंड आई एम लाइक कि हाँ भाई हाँ ठीक है हाँ ले तू लिख ठीक है. मतलब टॉकिंग अबाउट इफेक्ट्स, मतलब इट रियली, मतलब आई हैव अ फ्रेंड जिसके साथ ये हो रखा है. शी हैज लाइक 5000 फॉलोअर्स ऑन इंस्टाग्राम, ठीक है. तो वी रिसेंटली डिड दिस कैंपेन जहाँ पे हमने ये कहा था कि इफ यू हैव रिसीव्ड सम क्रीपी टेक्स्ट फ्रॉम गाइस, आप हमें भेज दो, है ना. एंड शी लेजिट हैड रेप थ्रेट्स इन हर डीएम. शी हैड पेड वाला थिंग नहीं होता कि आई पेटीएम यू दिस मच, फोटो भेज दीजिए, फोटो भेज दीजिए. इट वाज रियली डिस्गस्टिंग फॉर अस टू सी दैट स्टफ. मतलब दैट इज व्हाई वी वांटेड टू टारगेट दिस स्टफ. मतलब थ्रू गर्ल अप टीआईटी में अपना पर्सनल विजन बताऊं तो व्हाट आई वांट टू डू इज कि जो कॉलेज लेवल पे हम जैसे लोगों के साथ या हमारे दोस्तों के साथ जो होता है, आई रियली वांट टू टारगेट दोस इश्यूज एंड दिस इज राइट अप देयर, क्योंकि ये तो हम सबके साथ होता है रिगार्डलेस ऑफ योर जेंडर.
डेफिनेटली.
एंड मतलब अगर हम इफेक्ट्स की बात करें तो इफेक्ट्स में यार मतलब इफ आई एम गेटिंग सच अ मैसेज तो वो भाई ट्रॉमेटाइजिंग ही होता है एक तरीके से. लाइक
डेफिनेटली
like you told me about you being skinny and being bullied. तो मतलब as a kid मैं बहुत मोटा था, है ना. तो we used to live abroad at that time. हम लोग बॉर्नमथ में रहते थे. It's like 2 hours south from London, है ना. तो वहाँ पे I was a fat Indian kid, ठीक है. तो naturally मतलब the white boys Britishers would make jokes on me कि firstly they would associate me with the Paki terrorist thing and मतलब they would associate me with being fat and they were like कि मतलब they would say कि you piece of shit, you can't do anything in life, you're fat, you're Indian. I'm like right. And मतलब that really left a scar in me somewhere. अभी मतलब कल भी हम लोग गार्गी के साथ लाइव पे थे and मतलब I kind of broke down apparently on that live while talking about this. And I'm a little bit more calm talking about this stuff today. But हाँ मतलब that stuff left a scar in me somewhere. And bullying भाई मतलब bullying मतलब if I try to put it in a constructive way, जो बुलिंग मैंने रिसीव की, मतलब जो बुलिंग का सस्पेक्ट में था उस टाइम पे, इट रियली मेड मी इनटू द पर्सन आई एम टुडे. इफ वी मेट टुडे इन पर्सन एंड वी टॉक, यू वुडंट रियली एक्सपेक्ट मी टू हैव फेस समथिंग लाइक दिस इन द पास्ट, है ना. तो वही मतलब दीज एक्सपीरियंसेस मेक हु यू आर, बट इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ दैट मतलब लाइक पर्सनली I don't know if you will judge me for this or not, but I have a therapist, okay? And one of the first things that I talked to my therapist was कि she asked me tell me something from your childhood, and the first thing that I could remember was this bullying incident only, है ना. तो मतलब हाँ, तो the first thing that I could tell her was about this bullying incident only. So she took a couple of sessions to talk about this, how that time helped, how that time doesn't define who I am today and how I can overcome that stuff, है ना. तो मतलब I don't know if you've experienced something of the same, like have you ever like जैसे आप भी bullying के you say you've been bullied in the past, does that sometimes trouble you while matlab,
Yeah, definitely.
that
Like, it troubled me, but what, like, basically in my case, like, I was also the, I could say the shikar of depression as well.
okay.
And I tried committing suicide for twice because
I'm
of the
so
harassment which I received.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry to hear
suicide,
that. I'm so
because,
sorry to hear that.
yeah, no issue. So because of the, harassment I received from my teacher, I could say. I won't name, but because of the teacher, like in my class 11, class 12. So, like, what I encountered from there was when I counseled myself, like, I really don't went for any counselor, but I counseled myself. So what I found was that each and everything which is happening with us that is bad, so that happens for a reason. अगर कुछ गलत हो रहा है तो वो एक रीजन की वजह से होता है, एंड हमारे पास से वो गलत क्यों हो रहा है, बिकॉज वी आर कैपेबल ऑफ डूइंग समथिंग राइट थ्रू दैट रॉन्ग. अगर आपके साथ वो गलत चीज हुई है या यू हैव फेस दैट बुलिंग थिंग, so that has changed you into something which is new, right? Which is some the best version of yourself. If you could imagine कि अगर आपके साथ वो चीज हुई नहीं होती, तो maybe you must be someone else today in today's time. क्या पता you must be someone else. So that is the what I found that हर बार positive motivation जरूरी नहीं होता है. So if that motivation could be negative, like someone gives you something negative and you convert that negative thing into your motivation, so that could really help you in your future life and in your whole of the lifespan. लाइक जैसे आपने बताया कि आपको फर्स्ट जो इंसिडेंट याद आया, आपको वही याद आया. डेफिनेटली जब मेरे को भी कोई बोलता है योर पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस, तो मुझे भी डेफिनेटली वही याद आता है, दैट होल ट्रबल, दैट होल गेटिंग इनटू दोस थिंग्स, एंड दैट टू व्हेन आई वाज सिटिंग माय बोर्ड्स ऑफ 12th. वो भी उस टाइम की बात है, लाइक 1 month प्रायर टू दैट. So that thing, getting 0 in accounts, 1 in accounts, so that like the whole, so but that is not an issue because बाद में what I realized was that since this cyberbullying thing is much more than that what I face, so this is much more because यहाँ पे what happens is यहाँ पे जो psychological, जो mental, जो physical torture, एक I would say torture और जो harassment इन लोगों को जो victims हैं उन लोगों को जो suffer करना पड़ता है, तो उसकी वजह से they commit suicide, right? And like I will give you the best example of Manav suicide case. So he committed suicide because of the same thing. Because he was like he felt that रातों रात उसको एक victim बना दिया था, right? And he was just ill.
Yeah,
That was a really bad incident. When I
यार एक्चुअली पता है ये मानव वाली बात अब आपने उठाई है तो चलो इस बारे में बात कर लेते हैं. तो यार मतलब
yeah
I Manav was actually an indirect friend of mine, है ना. तो मतलब I knew him
okay
थोड़ा बहुत. तो he lives in my friend's
yeah
family actually. मतलब मैं भी गुड़गांव से ही हूँ ना. तो मतलब I indirectly know both of the people involved in that incident. And मतलब वो तो काफी ज्यादा मतलब I would say that was very unfortunate whatever happened and it could have been handled in a more positive way. And यार मतलब जैसे आपने कहा ना कि all of these negative incidents bring us back, they make us who we are today. But मतलब I'm also मतलब I think of myself as someone who's read a lot of psychology and I'm also running a mental health startup right now, therapio.in. So मतलब through
okay
that, so हाँ तो मतलब we're running a social platform right now. तो मतलब it's sort of non-profit type का, but हाँ I'll just tell you what it's about. तो मेरा जैसे आई हैव बीन ब्लेस्ड विद द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ टॉकिंग टू अ लॉट ऑफ थेरेपिस्ट, है ना. जैसे मैं थेरेपी पे भी जब थेरेपिस्ट लिस्ट कराते हैं तो जैसे आई एम द फाउंडर तो आई वुड पर्सनली टॉक टू देम वंस यू नो एंड नो देयर ओपिनियन ऑन स्टफ एंड मतलब वी हैव अ बेसिक लिस्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस जो हमने थेरेपिस्ट से पूछा है टू नो इफ दे आर एक्चुअली हेल्पफुल और नॉट, है ना. तो like I have undergone therapy myself. I am still going to a therapist right now, and I have the experience of talking to a lot of therapists. So what they tell me is that you are definitely the person you are today because of your experiences. But at the same time, I do not want you to break down because you remember something from your past. I want you to realize that you are what you are today because of what you faced. But वो जो तूने फेस किया वो इसलिए नहीं था क्योंकि तू मोटा था या तू इंडियन था, वो इसलिए तूने फेस किया क्योंकि तेरे आसपास वाले लोग वैसे थे एंड उनका माइंडसेट वैसा था. एंड द फैक्ट दैट यू आर रिमेंबरिंग दैट स्टफ राइट नाउ इज बिकॉज सम पार्ट ऑफ यू स्टिल थिंक्स दैट यू आर दैट. समझ रहा है? you can never erase what you used to be, and that is the stigma that people talk to while bullying, है ना. अब जैसे साइबर बुलिंग होगी, if you receive rape threats online, I mean that's grave, but you can never undo that thing, है ना. And what a therapist does, like आपने कहा कि आपने खुद ही ओवरकम कर लिया, and more power to you for doing that. But आई स्टिल बिलीव कि अगर आपने उस टाइम पे थेरेपिस्ट से बात की होती, मतलब आई टोटली एग्री, इंडिया में टैबू है, पेरेंट्स सपोर्टिव नहीं होते एंड वो सब नहीं होते, बट the fact that a therapist has spent at least 10 years talking about this stuff, you know, studying it, it's like कि
Definitely, definitely.
एक जैसे इंजीनियर है ना, जैसे मैं इंजीनियर हूँ, तो would I rather trust myself to make a machine, or would I rather trust someone who's done a PhD in that stuff, है ना? तो
Hmm.
all of these things, talking about mental health, and well, these things are very important. And when I think of like हमारा topic आज का है, why effects of cyberbullying on teenagers, the first effect on cyberbullying or bullying or anything is depression. You
Definitely.
you remember that stuff on the back of your mind. It's always there. अब जैसे मतलब
Yeah.
मतलब I've had talks to with my therapist about this Manav thing as well. मतलब ये तो चीज मेरे लिए थोड़ा पर्सनल हो गया था, है ना? तो
Hmm.
मतलब all of these things, they do form who I am, but talking to someone about it and talking to someone outside of my parents, like I don't think my parents know that I was related to him or that I knew him in some way, but यही चीजें जो हैं ये सब, I hope you try to understand what I'm trying to say, कि एक therapist से
Definitely,
मिलना,
definitely.
हाँ, एक therapist से मिलना is not negative in a way. I know that it
Yeah,
does
it's
seem
definitely.
negative.
Yeah, yeah.
It does seem negative,
No, no.
excessive to people, but at the end of the day, अगर मेरा कोई, I remember seeing so many posts on Instagram that day, है ना, कि if you need a friend, talk to me, and the only story that I put up was कि if you want to talk to someone, I'll pay for your therapy session. And legit, मतलब I think that is the message that we should portray, कि अगर मेरा कोई दोस्त depressed है, I am there for him, but if he needs extra help, if I see कि भाई there is a problem here, I should be ready to pitch in with a couple of friends and get him to a therapist. मतलब initial push दोस्तों को ही देना पड़ता है ना? And मतलब I'll
Yeah.
share with you the details of everything. In fact, हम लोग webinars अभी recently with Therapio, आज ही we did a webinar with Girl Up It's Time. So I don't know if you guys would, let's talk about that stuff as well, if you want to talk about mental health issues
Yeah,
as well.
definitely, no issues. Because since like talking about Bharat Galak also, so the same concern which you are raising, we are also like our step we have taken in that concern as well. We have established a proper cell, a therapist cell for all these people, those who want assistance. So like we really don't focus on the charging part, because basically at this point of time, since this lockdown, so people won't be able to pay. So we have like established a cell of therapists in which we have psychologists, we have mentalists. So in that, those who want assistance, they are really being open, and we have our psychiatrist, psychologist who is there to help 24/7, and that too free of cost. So that at least people could talk. Yeah, at least people could talk, right? Because बोलना जरूरी है, बाहर की बात अंदर जो दबा हुआ है हमको बाहर निकालना is very important. Like since you also mentioned you mentioned the rape threat as well. Yeah. So you mentioned the rape threat. So that current most, like I would say, the trending case is of Dhruv Shah. I guess you must have heard the case of Dhruv Shah. He released a poem on rape, and then he got rape threat. And like now, I could say many people are coming and supporting him. That Sonakshi Sinha ma'am is also supporting him. And like I could say that is the worst thing. Like you are dirtying the social media platform, the platform which was meant to connect people, to connect people basically, and now you are spoiling that connectivity stuff. You are doing irrelevant stuff. Like I could see when I check the Instagram, so there are various pages, Instagram pages, adulthood or some sort of that pages, and they randomly like DM anyone whom they want, and any sort of stuff. So like that, I think that is like the fakeness in the all over social media platform. The fakeness, it should be stopped, I guess, from
Definitely.
into our cyber side. Yeah.
Actually, वो last part cut वो हो गया था, buffer हो गया था. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now I'm audible.
हाँ, it's all.
Yeah. So like I am saying that the all the social media handles, so they should be like systematized in some sort of connecting it with our, I could say, with our PAN card or Aadhaar card, so that जो illegal stuff है ना, जो so-called disturbing elements हैं, so they can't ruin these stuff. Like basically, I joined LinkedIn also, like previous from past 1 or 2 years, but now I find LinkedIn also going in that phase. I was also getting, like I guess 2-3 days before, I was getting continuously DMs on LinkedIn by the same firm and different people, like 50 messages from the same firm, but people were changed. So like I
Yeah.
asked them once, twice, thrice that I'm not interested, not interested. Then also the different people sending the same message.
Yeah, definitely I've been through that as well. और ये मतलब ये
Yeah,
chatbots वाला मतलब there's nothing really we can do about chatbots per se, but yesterday when we had the talk with Puneet Bhasin ma'am, she told me कि मतलब I already knew this stuff, but IP tracing होती है, तो basically if some fake account messages you, you shouldn't worry, you should still report it, है ना?
yeah, हो जाता
Because
है, yeah.
हाँ, तो उससे क्या करते हैं कि आईपी ट्रेस करके वो बता देते हैं कि आपका कहाँ पर है, जैसे इफ आई एम यूजिंग माय होम वाईफाई राइट नाउ, तो उससे आईपी ट्रैक करके यू कैन फाइंड आउट कि उस राउटर का लोकेशन क्या है. सेकेंडली इफ आई एम यूजिंग माय मोबाइल डेटा, तो मोबाइल डेटा से तो वो एग्जैक्टली फोन की लोकेशन निकाल ही देते हैं. तो आई जस्ट वांट टू टेल एवरीवन हु इज वाचिंग कि देयर इज नो रीजन टू वरी अबाउट दिस स्टफ. इफ यू आर फेसिंग समथिंग, द गवर्नमेंट इज वेरी कीन ऑन हेल्पिंग पीपल, एंड मतलब गवर्नमेंट से ज्यादा पीपल to helping anyone who is facing this kind of situation. And I don't know if you've heard of a third, Rakshit Tandon sir. He's also very prevalent in this field, and
Yeah,
he helps a lot
Rakshit
of people.
Tandon
Like
sir, yeah, yeah,
yeah, मतलब वो
definitely.
तो हर साल हमारे मेरे स्कूल में आते थे कि भाई वेबिनार कराने. एंड ही ऑलवेज हैड दिस
Hmm.
एंजल प्रिया वाली स्टोरी जो मैं हमेशा सुनाता हूँ कि मतलब if a girl like Angel Priya is texting you, you have to report it, because that is the only way you can normalize the society, right? If you came
Normalize the
out,
thing, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
definitely. So like you mentioned about the school, like you mentioned about the school. So like एक चीज जो मैं बताना चाहूंगा, like because since our education system also need to be reformed. Like I
Yeah,
don't know, like because I guess जो सच्चे सर आते होंगे, he used to come for taking workshop. बट उसके
yeah.
अलावा आई गेस स्कूल में कभी बताते नहीं है साइबर बुलिंग से कैसे निपटा जाए या साइबर क्राइम क्या होता है. इवन लाइक
Exactly.
आई पर्सनली टेलिंग अबाउट माय स्कूल और माय सिटी. तो मेरी सिटी में किसी भी स्कूल में साइबर क्राइम का वर्ड भी यूज नहीं हुआ था टिल क्लास
Okay.
12. How strange is this? Right? Like
Yeah,
at least you should know what is cyber crime, how to tackle cyber crime, and exactly what are the government agencies or government initiatives, the laws regarding cyber crime. Because
yeah,
that's the most important thing. Like
exactly.
because I was an MUNer, I was a debater. So when I went to do MUN, I went to do first MUN in class 5th into Delhi, DPS Faridabad. So there I got to know, like my topic was cybercrime. So
Yeah,
from there I got to know each and
exactly.
everything about cybercrime, that in India or in the world, different countries. So what are the scenarios regarding cybercrime? So when I
Yeah, yeah.
sat back on that research, so I said, boss, यहाँ तो कुछ बता ही नहीं रहे हैं, and it is like a whole
Yeah,
thing going
yeah,
on. So that was the case, like, since like we are also a developed community, like both of us. So
yeah.
since menstrual hygiene, sex education, ये भी कहाँ कराई जाती है?
नहीं होता है.
You must have also, yeah, when we were in class 8, you must have also gone with the fact that the reproduction chapter which is in class 8, 9, 10, 10, वो कहाँ
Yeah.
पढ़ाते हैं ढंग से? So
मतलब
that is the
ऐसा है
main
कि
thing, like the
हाँ,
school,
बट
yeah,
उससे क्वेश्चन भी नहीं आता था, मतलब उसमें क्या ही
yeah,
क्वेश्चन आता
yeah,
था, मतलब आई स्टिल हाँ,
definitely. So
मतलब
that is the main thing, like the, yeah, practical aspect कोई बात ही नहीं करता है. They just talk about these bouquet things. So
मैं जब
like,
अभी
uh,
हाँ
hmm,
बताओ. तो अभी जैसे हम गर्ल अप के थ्रू भी बात करते हैं कि व्हाट वी वांट टू इम्प्लीमेंट इन आवर कॉलेज, और इफ व्हाट वी वांट टू इम्प्लीमेंट इन द स्कूल्स दैट आर सराउंडिंग पटियाला, है ना. तो वी टॉक
yeah,
अबाउट कि भाई हम लोग ऐसी ऐसी वर्कशॉप्स एटलीस्ट उन स्कूल्स में प्रोवाइड करें जहाँ पे इस चीज को वैल्यू करा नहीं जा रहा, है ना. एंड कंसिडरिंग कि हम लोग
hmm,
थापर स्टूडेंट्स हैं, तो मतलब पटियाला में दे डू रिस्पेक्ट अस, एंड इफ वी आस्क देम कि हम लोग इस पे कराना चाह रहे हैं, दे वोंट से नो. एंड मतलब दिस इज, as a community, as Girl Up, as both of us are working towards something that is unified and sort of glorified, है ना. तो उस चीज में you and me, we can make a difference, and मतलब it really makes me happy कि we are doing this and we're trying to
definitely,
make a change in someone's life, है ना. And through these
yeah,
webinars, like कल webinar पे कुछ 70-80 लोग थे, and I was really happy to see that, like the way we are
hmm,
actually trying to tell people कि this is the problem,
deliver
this is how
something,
you,
yeah.
so that really makes me happy, you know, like. I don't see a better way to end this than us you telling me of your Girl Bluff experience and how it makes you happy. Yeah,
Definitely. So yeah, so it's like since all of our Girl Pillars are an student-driven organization, right? It's
yeah,
not a non-government organization. NGO तो है नहीं, so it's a student-driven. Like all the youth, like I find very blessed to be a part of Girl Up community basically, because all the youth in the today's world, so youth are the people those who are going to make difference. जो बूढ़े लोग हैं, जो politicians हैं, they won't do anything, right? They will just tell their vision, but the implementation part and the execution part has to be done by the youth. So what my or what our Girl Up Club objective is towards the end vision is to bring in equality, like taking into consideration the women empowerment part, but at the last bringing equality between women, between LGBTQ community people, because we don't really treat them as a people. हम लोग उन्हें लोग मानते ही नहीं है. We just discriminate them into a very larger extent कि उनको कुछ मानते ही नहीं. So that is the main thing, like women, men and LGBTQ community people, we should treat them equally. So that is what Bharat Girl Up main focus is on, equality. So our campaigns which are being designed, they are being designed keeping into the mind the age factors. Like if the girl is or if that person is 5 years of age, so at that 5 years, उसको 5 साल में क्या क्या दिक्कतें होती हैं. So we try to cover that. So that is I guess like if we go age wise, so हर age, because हर age में चाहे वो man हो, चाहे वो female हो, चाहे वो LGBT community people हो, they are being discriminated in one form or the other, like cyberbullying, if I could say bullying, rape, and even rape. The recent case of rape that you somebody की बच्ची का होता है, which we saw was a girl who was some months old, just months, 1 साल की भी नहीं हुई. She got raped. The cow got raped. So where is the humanity? I guess the humanity is being finished. The elephant died, like elephant was, I will say murder because that was a totally planned murder, like cracker उसको खिलाया गया था through that pineapple and जिसकी वजह से he was murdered. So the humanity, like I said, the humanity खत्म हो गई बिल्कुल. So that is we, you and all of these youths who will be making difference. So I would say that youth should be really being not focusing on just their studies, पढ़ाई and किताबें, but apart from that, youth should be also be focusing towards the, I would say the entrepreneurial mindset. कुछ ऐसा mindset जो कि different हो, अलग हो, out of the box हो, जिसमें like if you are into something creative, so you should pursue that rather than pursuing something which you don't like. You are just forced, because जो चीज force कर जाती है ना, वो कभी successful नहीं होती है.
हाँ, सही बात है.
That was my thing.
So, मैं I totally feel inspired. मतलब kudos भाई, मतलब मेरे को ही hit कर गया है जो आपने बोला, elephant वाली बात and LGBT वाली, मतलब all stuff was really great. मतलब we should totally think about this stuff. And I hope कि जो लोग देख रहे हैं उनके दिमाग में भी कहीं ना कहीं कोई thought आया हो. And मतलब even like for me, if I talk about myself, if I look at something on the news and if I reflect on it and I try to make a difference, like जैसे मैंने सुना है ना, if you just think about what he said or what I said, and that makes you think, and it focuses or gives you the motivation to not do the same mistakes that you've done in the past. उतना भी हम दोनों के लिए मतलब हम जैसे लाइव कर रहे हैं वो भी हमारे लिए काफ़ी होगा, even if we're able to give you that one thought. So on this note, I really want to thank you for joining us for this live, and we should definitely do this again. It was very nice interacting with you. Okay.
Definitely. Thank you very much for having us, and kudos to you, Girl Up TI. What is the full form of TIET? Sorry, I was like.
वो हमारे कॉलेज का नाम है, स्थापर इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी.
Oh, great. So engineering, like एक टैबू है जैसे कि सोसाइटी में कि इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज के बच्चे सिर्फ इंजीनियरिंग ना करके सब कुछ करते हैं. तो लाइक आई कुड से वो टैबू रहना चाहिए, बिकॉज इंजीनियरिंग के बच्चे सिर्फ इंजीनियरिंग करेंगे तो उतना वो आई कुड से कि वो फ्रूटफुलनेस नहीं होगी. बिकॉज अगर इंजीनियरिंग के बच्चे सिर्फ इंजीनियरिंग करते तो आज हमको गर्ल अप TIET नहीं मिल पाता, राइट? सो आई कुड से दैट. So that's the best part, like you are doing.
That's very flattering. I'll even tell my team, like आज हमारी group meeting होगी, I'll definitely bring this up. Thank you so much for saying this. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for
having us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Namaste.
Okay, namaste.
Bye.
See you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.